Greetings and welcome to an LGR thing about weird computer keyboards. Yeah, I've covered a whole bunch of different computer mouse products and input devices before, usually a few at a time, and that's been fun. But you know, I have a whole lot of weird keyboards as well, and it's just nice to do one of these more relaxed videos after tackling a bigger video project like I just did. So one of them I want to take a look at is the Future from Acer. Also have one of the best keyboards in the world from Keytronic. And also this rather monstrous thing, the Scanner Keyboard by Compaq. Scanners and keyboards together at last. Yeah, let's check these things out. Yeah, finally, time to try out this beast that I've had for years and years. This is the Scanner Keyboard by Compaq, or really Compatibles by Compaq. They're retail sub-brand, kind of like Options by IBM, I think. Doesn't really matter, but this is the first scanner, apparently, for the paperless home and office. Yes, the paperless home and office, where you're scanning paper so frequently that you built it into your daggum keyboard so you can file and fax and copy and, you know, do scanner things. It just happens to be built into the keyboard. I don't know. I've always just wondered, like, does this actually make sense? Easy to use, no on-off switch. It's just always going. Okay, compact design. It's a compact design, but not compact. I don't know. That looks pretty chunky to me. Organize information. Yeah, whatever. Empowers your PC. Now they're just making stuff up. It's a scanner on a daggum keyboard. Optical resolution, 200 dpi horizontal, 400 vertical. Black and white images, 256 shades of gray, so this is not a color scanner. It is roughly 21 inches wide, 53 centimeters, 5.5 pounds to 2.5 kilograms. Yeah, nice and compact. 486 base PC with Windows 3.1, Windows for Workers 3.1 or 95, 4 megs of RAM, 8 megs for optical character recognition. It does come with some software. I'm looking forward to trying. Anyway, let's just get this opened up. It's also from 1996. So this is a serial port thing. Got a keyboard pass through there for PS2. We have a very, very beefy power supply. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but of course it needs one. 24 volts, 30 watts, AT to PS2. Yeah, a bunch of documentation and software. All on floppies. I'll get those backed up on Internet Archive if they are not already. Got the user's guide here. That's a good couple hundred pages. Important calibration card inside. All right, so there is our all-important card. The company's always trying to do this. Look how easy it is. We don't even have to tell you anything. And yet there's like 200 pages of documentation over here. So what is this for? Because that wasn't mentioned. Like a filter, like some way to manage inconsistent power. Ah, here we go. It's an addendum. They must have added this later. This is a voltage dropout protector, DOP. Doesn't say when you should use it. I mean, I guess we'll just use it. Why not? Well, that is discolored over the years, but yeah, power plugs in right there. And there's our Compaq scanner keyboard. I mean, I guess it's not like the most ridiculously sized thing, although it is deeper and wider than a Model M overall. Yeah, that feels like a Compaq keyboard. In fact, underneath this appendage on top, like if you just sort of ignore all that, this very much looks like a regular old Compaq Presario keyboard from 95, 96. Rubber dome action. Honestly feels pretty good, but you know, Compaq keyboards back then weren't awful, despite not being mechanical or anything. Yeah, it's fine. My goodness, yeah, it is certainly a lot heavier than Model M. This is like Model F territory. Oh no, did that just break? Yup. Oh, I guess that wasn't supposed to go out all the way. Well, you know what? There you go. Now they're both broken. It's fine. I mean, they're still attached. Anyway, I've already broken the darn thing. Just wondering if this opens up. Okay, yeah, that's sort of that, yeah. A little bit of sliding open action there. Well, let's just plug this all in, get the software going, and see what it's like to scan with a keyboard. All right, well, I've just got the software installed and everything all plugged in. Don't know if it's actually found it yet, but there we go. All right, restart. Heck yeah. All right, so anyway, I was gonna say, my first impressions though, just like getting it plugged in and just looking at it, feeling it a little, just, it feels so satisfying. I forgot how much I love this generation of compact keyboard. And you know, it's got that rubber snappiness that is, I honestly think it's really nice. Yeah, I just had to give it a shot with some Jazz Jackrabbit here. I remember playing this on a friend's Compaq with a very similar keyboard, without the scanner, of course, but yeah, it just feels right. All right. 1 minute guide. Ooh, here we go. How very Windows 3.1 looking. Paperport is the fastest way to get paper into your computer. I mean, I could think of faster ways. You could just crumble it up and shove it in a floppy drive. Anyway, all right, so this is Paperport. Seems like we have a number of different example files, like how you can annotate things. Here's a business card, here's a handwritten note, and grandma's fudge frosting. Whatever. And a picture. Hey, I mean, hey, if we get that kind of quality, not bad. Oh, heck yeah, dude. We got all kinds of features in here. And it's not crashing yet. It's not telling me to go screw myself. I'm just really burnt from the last sheet-fed scanner experience I had. If you haven't seen this video, it's much more than just a single printer we're looking at. It's just all kinds of pain. Okay, manual says to do this first. So here goes nothing. Oh. Yo. Let's do that one more time. What do you mean scanner is not available? Oh no. Oh my God. Could turn everything off. And of course, because it's so convenient, it doesn't have a power button, then yep, there we go. You just gotta manually plug it and unplug it. What? Oh. But okay, well, I've tried 2 other computers, Windows 95 and 98 ones. Neither of them worked. I reinstalled drivers. I don't know. I did all kinds of different things with the software to see if I can get it going again, and nope, just stopped. So whipped out a Windows 3.1 rig today, and it's detected it straight away so far. Well, problem being though, now it's asking me to restart, and it keeps doing this, and it will not actually restart. And it was doing some weirder crap even with Windows 95, where it would just completely freeze the system anytime it tried to access it. And then it was like, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. And then it would just get stuck in a loop, and I'd have to manually restart, which I'm going to have to do here as well. Is it working now? I've just been... I don't know what I did other than unplug it and plug it back in a bunch of times in different orders while restarting manually, and now it opened the program for the first time. So let's see if we can calibrate. Yeah. Wow, it actually worked. So maybe it'll actually function now, unless I breathe wrong or look at it wrong. All right, let's try to scan a photograph. Sure, we'll do straighten and trim automatically. So I have a printout here from a thermal printer video from a while back. Push it forward and, I mean, was it just know something's in there? Ooh, what? Dude. Yeah, that just immediately detected it, wow. Processing on a 486. Okay. That's awesome. I mean, it's, you know, black and white and not the cleanest of scans, but that just straight up worked. Let's see, we have anything in here we can scan? There's an ad for iNinja. Oh crap, yeah, look at that. It just immediately is like, let's scan this crap, whatever it is. That's super cool. Like, this is a pain in the actual penis to get working, but it's working and working fantastically. I don't know why I cropped it like that, but it did. Let's not do the trim automatically thing. See if that works any better. It really doesn't know what the heck it's looking at. Maybe it's just because it's such a dark image, like all around. So okay, we've got this Namco registration card. Let's try that. Well, it just doesn't seem to really know what to do with like dark or black edges like that, huh? So that was pretty much max detail. We've also got snapshot, which is faster scan time, smaller file size, business cards, letter, article. Yeah, so it's pretty much just going to be doing different things to the image. Yeah, if we put this over into like letter mode and then try to scan a photo, I mean, it's obviously the wrong thing to do, but yeah, that's crazy. So it's basically, I mean, literally black and white, 2 tones. It's optimized for text, making it as high contrast as possible for black and white lettering. All right, got an assortment of random things to try out here. Okay, let's try the absolute quickest mode here, which is article. Fastest scan time, smallest file size. Like, well, this is a couple pages of my Streets of SimCity script. Yeah, that's really quite quick. Unfortunately, we're running into some weirdness right there. I was wondering how it would handle, it was a highlighted part, but it's printed in black and white, so it looks kind of weird. And for being as quick as it was, yeah, but you can see it didn't quite know what to do with the parts there that were in gray or surrounded by gray. Put it into letter mode. Well, it took a good bit longer, but it's notably way better detail, but it also completely just went with so much of the contrast that these areas that were highlighted, you can't even really see that. So this would be the one to use for OCR scanning for text. Let's try this business card thing just on the default settings. You see, that's what I was wondering. Because it doesn't seem to like things of thickness. Might just be too sturdy of a business card. Maybe if it's already pre-curled and we do it this way instead of lengthwise, that might be better. Oh, man, I don't know about that. That did not work well at all. Hence why they made standalone business card scanners, I suppose. Here, this is something a little bit floppier. This is a Moby Games postcard from back in the day. Yeah, that's definitely a more manageable kind of sturdiness or lack thereof for something to scan. So it's certainly doing some wonky stuff here with, well, I don't know what it was doing. That's, huh. I'll try this article mode again here from this blue and white printout. It came with the mouse yoke we covered recently. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, like that is fantastic for how quick that is, how easy that is. Like once this thing is set up and working, that's awesome. Like I was just wondering how it would do with like the mixture of graphics or whatever, just sort of like a clip art looking deal. And you know, it didn't pick up on that gradient at all, but dude. So now I want to know, like if this isn't running, will it just continue to work no matter what? I'm assuming it will, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. So it program or some parts of it just remains in memory and or this sends out a command to be like, hey, bring up that crap. Yeah, there we go. Now it's opening the program again. Yeah, that is more convenient than I thought. I was thinking, oh, you're gonna have to open the program every single time and set it up and press the button. And nah, just the text stuff being crammed in there. So, okay, you could just be like playing a game or whatever and then just, you know, insert a thing and just continue. Nope, can't. Well, yeah, it's scanning, but I'm continuing to play things. So it's a little wonky. And now it's loading the program, so. But yeah, it just straight up interrupts whatever you're doing. Well, now I'm wondering what happens if you're running like a DOS game under Windows. All right, so I just got Balloon Challenge going here. Windows is still going. This is just double-clicked the executable and I'm just gonna start the scanning. Hey, yeah, it just closes it down. And it's supposed to have some sort of optical character recognition, so I'd like to try that with something we scanned. It says select the item, drag and drop it into the word processing icon. This? Oh, all right. So yeah, text bridge OCR just popping up and it's processing that. It's nice that it's built in and not like a separate application. Oh, here we go. Look at that. That's awesome. Not perfect, but it's even got the italics for things. Not bad. Sim Coupler. Whatever, this is awesome. I was really impressed with OCR software like Abby Fine Reader back in the day. And yeah, this is even earlier, well, earlier than one I used, so that's awesome. Yeah, despite the initial headaches and hurdles, I'm still really impressed with this thing. Like the fact that you can be doing anything and just stick something in there and it's like, all right, we're gonna scan now. No matter what you're doing, prop money or anything else, you can just plop it in there and scan away, and you get pretty darn good results for the time period. It's relatively quick for serial. The keyboard itself is satisfying for Rubber Dome. Like, yeah, it's just all the drivers and software and setup issues that kind of suck. Other than that, this is awesome. It's the future keyboard from Acer. Comfort without compromise. It's ready for Windows 95. This is a funky beast, man. Back when Acer was doing funky beastly things, like they had their weird Aspire range of desktops, and some of them actually in this kind of teal, but this is just, well, it's unique. You got a centrally located touchpad, centrally located cursor control system. I guess those are also arrow keys. I mean, I don't see any arrow keys over here, but yeah, just this odd split layout going on, and yeah, the numpad is completely separate over there. Yeah, should be no surprise this is from 1997 if you know your Acer history. Like I said, they were just making weird looking stuff like this back then, but other than having like a touchpad on there, I'm just wondering what in the world kind of problems were they trying to solve here? I mean, you do get like this instead of this, which is also part of the idea of the Microsoft Natural and other similar ergonomic keyboards at the time, but I just love the fact that the numpad is split off. But yeah, we'll see, it should just work with anything, right? Personal computer, 386 or higher. Don't know why that's, I mean, I guess probably for the driver for the mouse, right? Use a serial for the mouse, PS2 or AT for the keyboard. I don't know, man, let's open this freak. Had it for so many years. Oh, I didn't look at a rebate. What do we got here? Buy the keyboard, you get $10. As long as you do it by May 31st, 98. We just missed it. And I got an Acer warranty. I always admired when companies like Acer back then tried to have a visual identity, something distinct to set them apart. I mean, it was a very goofy, toy-like identity, but dang it, they tried. Oh, how strange. It's like a VGA cable connector, a 15-pin D-sub. All right, so yeah, I did see that the lights for things like num lock, caps lock, and scroll lock were built into the keys, but instead of just a normal little square or round opening, it's an exclamation point that lights up. It's like that for each of them. Oh my, look at this. So we've got some intriguing routing solutions for our cables here. That'll plug in right there if you want it, I guess. Be sure to maintain straight wrist posture. Got an accessories packet here. A little dongle, 5-pin AT to PS2, or vice versa, I guess. And a driver here, version 2.32, which I will back up. And a user's guide, which looks to be appropriately sized in length. Not too many pages. You don't need to over-explain these things. Connecting your future. Oh my word. Acer Future keyboard with its enhanced, sleekly curved style is built around unique ergonomic design. The Future keyboard clearly details Acer's involvement in the ideal and the action. Acer hopes this keyboard will inspire you to experience natural ways while interfacing with PCs. All right, Acer. I don't know what they were smoking in the late 90s, but it was pretty good stuff. I mean, look at this. This is great. Here's how to use a touchpad, which, you know, having a touchpad, even on a laptop, was still kind of new, depending on whose laptop you went with. A lot of them had track points or still track balls, other kind of solutions. But yeah, track pads on a desktop, that's even more obscure for the time period. Oh yeah, we got this, like, look, we got to put these keys in there, but we ran out of room. So let's just make this one a little bit smaller. You know, it's fine. It feels like identical to my Acer Aspire keyboard from '97. At least for the key switches and, you know, the plastics and whatnot, the caps, the travel. But the shape of everything, the longest T and in 7 keys you've ever seen. All these, yeah, just, it's like an anamorphic D-squeeze. My favorite part is definitely this little standalone numpad. I don't know. I just think that's nifty. So let's set this up and try it out. Oh, I didn't even see these or try these yet. Yeah, that's very satisfyingly clicky. Nice travel on those. Honestly, I like that. I don't know about these arrow keys. Well, yeah, we do have PS2 right here for the keyboard part, and then the mouse part. It's just this side for the numpad where it connects that it has all those extra pins. So yeah, let's try this sucker out. All right, well, it's all plugged in. The little exclamation points are glowing on the keys that have them. Numpad, I guess I'll just put over here. I instinctively want to use this as like the mouse because this is a desktop, not a laptop, but no, we have this. Turns out just a standard Synaptics touchpad. That is the drivers that it came with for DOS, Windows 3.1, and some kind of drivers for 95. This is not exactly level. Anyway, yeah, I say that because while it did install something in here, I don't exactly know what it did on Windows 98 here other than change this icon. In the manual, it mentions you'd be able to have this control panel added to the mouse properties, but that does not show up. Nor does the X-Point software that it mentioned, which is just like, I guess it adds some different gestures or shortcuts or just to let you reconfigure stuff. Anyway, doesn't matter. It works straight away even before I install the drivers because it's just standard stuff. At least with Windows 98, it knows what to do with a touchpad. And this is just a regular keyboard, so yeah, I've never been super used to these kind of natural style ergonomic boards. All that said, it's a perfectly fine keyboard. Just takes getting used to of the keys being over here kind of weird and numpad and whatnot. And of course you have this right here, which is indeed an arrow key situation. Yeah, the mouse, nothing really to report. It is, okay. A little extra sensitive here and there. It's got some settings that I do wish I could adjust through that Synaptics panel. But anyway, it's like just your standard kind of laptop style, low DPI Synaptics touchpad, like any random laptop from the 90s. So let's give something else a shot. In terms of, you know, having the arrow keys and space and all this kind of stuff, like right here. Ah, crap. Let's go for round 2. So yeah, not the worst setup for sure. Like actually, it's kind of nice just to have a space bar right there for interacting and whatnot. I don't know. It's a weird little control center just right here in the center, and control center in the center. You know what I mean? Kind of works weirdly. It's not an ideal game for it by any means, but who cares? Anyway, yeah, this is come on, not that bad. I could definitely get used to this if I really needed to for some unnecessarily dumb reason. Let's give some GTA 3 a shot. Maybe literally. Again with the weird balance, because I want to rest my hand like this, and it, I don't know, you see how it is? It's kind of shaped. I would want to, I don't like that. I guess it really wants you to rest your weight of your wrist right here, not on the edge like I want to. What's going on? Okay, the mouse is, well, what? The cursor works, but the mouse buttons don't? I don't know what's up with that. See if the mouse steering for the car works. I do have that enabled.
Give me your van.
All right, so I can obviously steer with the arrow keys. Oh, mouse steering doesn't work. Mouse works in the menu, doesn't click. Mouse controlled steering is turned on. Dude, I have no idea. That's bizarre. So obviously we're fine in Windows. Well, let's try something else real quick. Midtown Madness 2.
It is noon, so don't get busted stopping for lunch. I'll meet you with the grub at the finish, okay?
All right. Obviously keyboard control works just fine. Haven't had any problems with that. Let's get the mouse control enabled for the steering. There we go. What in the... All right, so yeah, I'm definitely able to move the mouse, but normally these are gas and brake. Clicking does nothing. That is so weird. It's like it works better in DOS with the DOS driver. I don't know, maybe something is just up with that Synaptics thing that it tried to install. That's the driver it came with. I'm just chiming in to say I tried it also in a Windows 95 PC, and not only does it not make anything better, it's notably worse because now it doesn't even do anything. It won't respond at all. In fact, the computer just freezes every time you start it up with that driver installed. All right, so I got the Windows 3.1 setup going again here, and yeah, I guess we got to install it through DOS. Ooh, got a Synaptics touchpad program in DOS and Windows. All right. Well, that's immediately weird. I very rarely ever run Windows 3.1 on, or like have a laptop with Windows 3.1 that has a touchpad. Unfortunately, not going to be able to show the games that weren't working on the other system because, well, it's a different system. But yeah, Synaptics touchpad control panel is the thing we weren't seeing on Windows 95 or 98, either version of 98. I don't know why this wasn't working on 9X, but it's working perfectly fine on Windows 3.1 here. It's a bunch of well, standard touchpad stuff, really. But that would have been nice to have on 95. I don't know what was up with those drivers. Now I'm curious to see what it's like in DOS. Oh my goodness, it even works in the BIOS. That's wild, man. Try this SynTouch program. Oh, okay, well, it's just a driver. What about Xpoint? What the heck is that? That's Windows. Well, maybe that's just the control panel applet deal. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this keyboard, at least what I want to show here. Again, some unexpected drivers and software issues, but other than that and the kind of funky design, it's not the most enjoyable to me. I don't mind this at all. In fact, it's actually pretty cool to have this centrally located touchpad deal on a desktop keyboard setup. Maybe not so much the arrow key placement. I keep hitting these by accident, trying to go down to hit some of the other mouse buttons, or it's just very sensitive. And it's just, why are the arrow keys here instead of, I don't know, they were trying things, man. Acer was trying things, and I applaud them, I guess. Yeah, sure, why not? Retroactive applause. Acer in the mid to late 90s was funky stuff. Well, I suppose that is about it for this first episode, taking a look at, I was going to say a trio of keyboards, but it was only two. So I guess a duo of keyboards. Yeah, this didn't really go to plan, but I suppose that's what I get for not planning it. I hope it was still enjoyable, but you never really know with some of these things, especially when you run into software and driver issues and functionality that was just a little bit more involved or just weird, or I don't know. Things happening that I don't expect, and it ended up being a longer video. And I still had that third keyboard I wanted to look at, but I did film a good chunk of it and then realized not only does it not work, but it doesn't come with like the drivers or the software, and I can't find copies of it online, and it had leakage issues and is all corroded inside. So I don't even know if it would work even if I had the software. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed something about this. And if you did, then do check out my other videos on completely different stuff, or the mouse videos I've done before, where I was taking a look at 3 mice instead of keyboards. But either way, that's it for this episode of LGR, and thank you for watching.